Hey y'all, I'm Chris and this is it Worth It, y'all? Welcome back to the kitchen. Today, we're gonna be canning cuties or mandarin oranges. I am the type of individual that tries their darndest to make sure that I don't have to buy canned goods at the store. So one of the things that I love, especially when it comes into like Waldorf salad season, which is, April, May, June, mandarin oranges. And I don't wanna buy them at the store. So right now, we're working out of this book, So Easy to Preserve. I'm working on page 45. This is the 6th edition. And we are going to use the grapefruit recipe. I checked online for the book because it said oranges and it's using this exact grapefruit recipe. So we're gonna use the grapefruit recipe. So first thing on the list is, we gotta peel all these things. So stick around, let's go. All right, y'all, so while I'm peeling these, I'm gonna peel a couple and then I'll cut away because you guys don't need to sit here and have me watch me do this. I'm interested to see how many of these will fit into a jar. This is a 3-pound bag, but I will say approximately 4 to 5 of these are missing because I already ate them. And for those of you that have never seen a mandarin orange or cuties, the slices are teeny, teeny, teeny. Another goal of this recipe, because people warn about it, I just threw one on the floor, is try to get as much of this, the rind and all the little stringy part. Try to get as much of that off as possible. That way it's not bitter. So I'm not going to be like super duper perfectionist, but I'm going to get as much as I can off of here. So I'm working in pint jars, and that's 2 oranges, or 2 cuties so far. So I'm thinking we're gonna put a few in this jar. So let me get to peeling, and I'll see you back in a minute when I get at least 1 jar full. All right, y'all, that is 6 cuties in 1 jar. So you can see we got like space down in here. So I talked to Greg this morning and I'm like, I would much prefer, instead of doing, because you can do like apple juice or grape juice or something like that, or even orange juice. I would much prefer to do this in a very, very light syrup, just because mandarin oranges are tart. And if depending on what we're gonna use them for in the future, I'd like to add a teeny bit of sweetness in it. Y'all know I don't like to add sugar, but in scenarios like this, we're putting a 1/2 cup of sugar in a quart of water. And so we're putting very little sugar in this. I'm gonna make a very light syrup, and that's what it's called, very light syrup. That's on page 37 of this book, and it gives you the measurements of what it entails right here. So that way you know your syrups with the recipes. So I'm gonna make a very light syrup, and we're gonna cover these. And it looks like I have enough oranges to probably squeak 3 jars. So it's about 1 pound a jar-ish, because I ate a few. But the headspace on this, it requires a 1/2 inch of headspace. So I'm gonna fill the liquid up to here. We are gonna debubble, and we'll get to that in just a second. Let me get these other 2 jars filled up and we'll get it in the canner. All right, y'all, we got our simple syrup at a simmer. This is what it looks like. And I definitely, next time, will not eat any, because I think this is my pile of peels. So you can see I actually did it. I got 3 jars, and I think had I not eaten a couple, I would have been able to fill these jars up all the way. I think they could use like maybe a 1/2 of an orange more in each jar. We did get 3 jars, so about 1 pound per jar. And what we're gonna do is ladle into a 1/2 inch headspace this simple syrup, very light syrup. I did not want to go any heavier than a light syrup. Now this is a raw pack method, that is what it calls for. So I'm following the directions to the T because I've never done this before. It's my first go. I don't do a lot of canning fruit by itself. I usually make it into something. Like when we do our peaches and our pears, I make it into pie filling and jellies and jams. And so doing this is a little different. If you buy one of the packs on Amazon of the canning packs, I'll link it in the description. This is actually the debubbler that comes with it. And this is actually from my dad's house. He decided he was done canning and would rather me bring him some jarred food. So I think he's giving his garden a little break. And so he's the master of the green beans. So he gave me all of his canning equipment to add to my stash, and I gratefully and graciously accepted. So we got another set of stuff. Doesn't hurt to have an extra backup set, that's for sure. So we're gonna go 1/2 inch head space now that we've dedoubled, because we did lose some space in a couple of these jars. What's cool about the debubbler that comes with the canning stuff is it does have and I can't read any of this with my glasses on. It comes with the other end of this measures. This end is the debubbler. You see it's well loved. It goes around the edge of a jar really good now. Where's 1/2 inch? Help me out, y'all. There it is. It's this one. So you go like this, and if it touches the liquid, you know you're at a 1/2 inch. Yep. Those are good. So we are going to wipe we're going to wipe the jars on this because I do have sugar in that water, and then we will get them processed in a water bath canner for 10 minutes. I'll bring it back when they come out so we can look at the shrinkage and see what we think, and if we think we've found a good replacement for oranges. All right, y'all, I have also decided that we're gonna cut up a pineapple and we're gonna can some pineapple. So, starting with a pineapple. How do you know a pineapple's ready to be cut up and used? I've already done it a couple times. So when you can pull on this very, very easily, and they come right out, see how they just come right out? See, I've pulled on a few now, so these are kind of taut, but those come out pretty easily. You're good to go. Now what I like to excuse me, what I like to do, cut the top off. And I also like to cut the bottom off because it makes the bottom flat and easier to cut. So all I do is take a knife and go around the outside. I try not to get too far into the meat, but just enough to remove all those eyes. See the little brown spots that are left over? Those are called the eyes. We want to try to get all those off, especially when we're going to can. Like if I was eating this fresh, a little bit of that doesn't bother me. But since we're canning, we'll need to go back and try to get as many of those off as we can. But just go through, trim off as much as you can the first go around. Oh, this smells good, y'all. At this point, I like to flip it over because you got a lot of this green left down here on the end. Go around and get that off. Okay. And then some of these, see how that's like a lot. So I want to go through and just knock that off. I want to go through and knock that off. And then, oh yeah, that looks better. See, like I'm okay with that little bitty piece. This is too big of an eye. That's too big of an eye. There's a little spot right there. There, I think that looks good. Now I'm gonna do chunks. So what I like to do, see the little circle in the middle? That's the actual core, and we want to stay away from that. So what I like to do is go a little bit outside that little circle, make a cut. Turn it 90 degrees, do the same thing, make a cut. Turn it, make a cut. Turn it, make that cut. And you can, once you cut it, you can tell the difference where the core is and the squishy goodness of the actual pineapple of what you want to eat. Now, some of these, I got a little bit of the core. So what I want to do is go in at a diagonal and peel that off. Oh yeah, that's better. Same way with this guy. I think I'm going to go ahead and cut right there. And then let me get that little spot off all the way down. Oh yeah, that's better. So at this point, cube it up the size that you want for whatever recipe you're going to use these for. Get them in the jar. I do not know how much this pineapple weighed. So we will see like average pineapple size of, oh, I'm going to need more jars. How many pineapple slices will fit in here. Now, this is a hot pack, so I'm going to pull this pineapple back out. But I'm just trying to get an idea of how many jars I'm going to need. So I'm probably going to need, what, one more jar? For sure, one more jar. Like I said, just cut it up the size you want. I'm going to pack these really hard and tight, maybe even a little full, because they are going to cook down a little bit. Because this is a hot pack. Ooh, I don't like that eye right there. Let's get that off. All right, definitely going to need one more jar. Let me run go get that jar, and let's see where we're at. And if you're ever afraid to cut up a pineapple, now you know how to do it. It's not that hard, and this is way better fresh. All right, I am trying to use wide mouse on this one because I think trying to get this pineapple out later, I won't be yelling and using adult language trying to get this out. Okay, I think 3 jars is going to be good. So let's get the hot pack going on this. All right, y'all, we are in the same book. We're going to flip over to page 51. And we're going to use the same simple syrup recipe that it calls for. And this says, slice or cube the fruit, large saucepan, add the pineapples to the syrup, simmer for 10 minutes, pack the pineapples into hot jars, 1/2-inch headspace, 15 minutes on the process. So I'm going to dump these in the syrup. This is the syrup pot that I had. We're definitely going to need some more syrup, so I'll add some syrup. We're going to simmer these for 10 minutes and put them back in the jars and process them. All right, y'all, that's 10 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and pull this off. Set it over here. Go get some pot holders. And then we'll bring these up like this. I just love, my dad had a proper canner. I just kind of like use what I got. So he's got this cool little rack and everything. I'll link it. That way you guys can get it if you want. Look how pretty. Oh, let me get you one without a tag on it. Obviously I reuse my jars. Don't ever use Avery labels on your jars because they never come off. Look how pretty. Looks really good. Okay. Bring it back when we're ready to do pineapple. Man, that looks so good. Couple more minutes and we'll pull it. It's looking like pineapple. All right, here we go. Let's get this over here. Now I think what I'm gonna do first is I'm gonna go ahead and pull all the pineapple chunks out and get those in the jars. And then we'll ladle in syrup over the top. I just wanna make sure we get enough, oh, it smells so good. We get enough pineapple in these jars. I'm trying my best not to touch the tops of these jars because this stuff is sticky. Now these are going to go a little bit longer than the oranges. They're going to go for 15 minutes. Not sure why. That's just what it says. I don't know if it has a different level of acid or that's the way they tested it and that's the way the texture comes out. Because some of this stuff is about safety and some of it is about actual texture. Okay, that fits nicely. All right, let's get the ladle and let's get this liquid in here. Just like the oranges, we are gonna have to debubble. It is a 1/2 inch headspace, and I cooked the pineapple in the simple syrup, so I'm using the liquid that was in the pot with the pineapple. So we're gonna get some of that extra pineapple flavor. And again, debubbling is very important because you don't want these lids to blow off in the canner, because sometimes those little pockets will cause issues. So, and this is very, very hot. So just like with pressure canning, hot liquid, hot jars, hot food, hot water in the canner. So we're gonna make sure everything's hot because I'm doing this right after we did the oranges. So that canner is blazing hot. We do need, these jars are blazing hot too. We do need to wipe these rims because this stuff is super sticky. And I'm gonna go ahead and put these on one at a time. Ow, 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 ow. That's hot. It's hot, y'all. Didn't I just say it was hot? It's still hot. It's smart, even if you don't have sticky stuff. It's just smart to kind of wipe your rings, even if you're canning with just like water. Or it's good to wipe this part of the jar where the lip that hits the lid and the rubber. I think it's just smart because when I have canning failures is when I have a chip or something that I didn't notice and the jar doesn't seal. Okay. This looks so good. All right, I'm gonna get them in the canner. I'll bring you back when they come out. All right, y'all, we did it, look. Pineapple and some mandarin oranges. We got enough for the shelf. I think that's exciting. It only took 1 pineapple and 3 pounds of mandarin oranges. So I think this is great. Everything is sealed. I did have to reprocess 2 of the oranges. I think I overstuffed one and the other one, I don't know what happened. So I just reprocessed it just to make it safe. So everything turned out great. They look good in the jar and I know what's in it. And for a home canning instead of buying it off the shelf. So that feels so good. So if you like stuff like this, comment below. Let me know if you want me to do something that maybe you're thinking about canning or you haven't seen anybody do, and just throw some ideas down and I'll try to work it in because I love canning. And you know, dead of winter, you kind of get a hankering for canning something, and having fresh fruit on the shelf is pretty cool. So if you haven't already, like, comment, and subscribe. And until we see you on the next video, bye y'all.